everyone, welcome back to 5-Minute Fridays. I'm just about to start my 5-minute workout for today. There are timestamps in the description box down below the video, so if you want to skip straight ahead to the workout, you can do that. But if you need to see the exercises demonstrated and explained before we begin the workout so that you know what's coming up, let's go ahead and get into that right now. All I'm using today is one 10-pound dumbbell. 10 pounds is a good weight for me. However, you may need to use something lighter or heavier. That's going to depend on your strength and on your level of fitness, what you have available to you, and how hard you're looking to push yourself today. So please consider all of those factors when choosing your weight and make the decision that is best for you. If you do not have a dumbbell, that's fine. Household items will work. So you can grab a water bottle, you can fill it with water or uncooked rice, for example, or you could even just grab a can of soup out of the pantry. As long as whatever you choose for weight is not too heavy for you and you're able to maintain a secure grip on it throughout the entire 5-minute workout, so you're not going to drop it and hurt yourself, any number of household items will work. So get creative and use what you've got. Even though this workout is only going to be 5 minutes long, there are 8 exercises I have to show you before we begin. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So we are starting with a counterweight squat, which is just a squat with a front arm raise. So first, let's talk about the proper form for your squats. Step number 1 is to make sure your shoulders are back and down. So back, meaning that you want to kind of feel like you're pinching your shoulder blades together, and down, meaning away from the ears. So if you're like me and your shoulders are always up here, push them down and push them back. It's like you're trying to tuck your shoulder blades into your back pockets. Okay, so that is the first thing I want you to be aware of. That's gonna help keep your chest lifted high. Then from here, you want to push your booty back. So visualize like you're trying to touch the wall behind you with your booty. If you really do that, look at what happens. That's keeping the weight in my heels and it's keeping my back flat, which is what we want. So if you think of squatting straight down, here's what's gonna happen. Your knees are going to end up going out over your toes, and that's not correct. That's not what we want. You're going to hurt your knees doing that. So instead of thinking about squatting straight down, think about really pushing that booty back. Really try to touch that wall behind you with your booty, okay? So shoulders back and down, chest is high. Make sure your core is engaged. Tighten up those abs. Your back is flat. Your weight is in your heels. And from this position, you can go ahead and sink down into your squat. Okay, then actively press your heels into the ground. So push the ground away as you stand and return to your starting position. Again, keeping the weight in the heels the entire time, keeping your back flat, making sure your core is engaged, shoulders are back and down, and your chest is lifted high. So I'm going to be doing that while holding my dumbbell in my hands and using it as a counterweight. So as I sink down into the squat, I'm going to do a front arm raise with my dumbbell. So I have just one dumbbell. I'm going to hold it like this with one hand on either side of the dumbbell. I'm starting with the dumbbell in front of me like this. And as I sink down into my squat, I'm just going to lift the dumbbell up and straight in front of me like this, using it as a counterweight. And now press the heels into the ground and stand, return to the starting position. The next exercise is bus drivers. So again, I'm going to start by holding my weight like this. One hand is on either side of the dumbbell, and I'm going to have the dumbbell straight out in front of my chest. Now rotate the dumbbell so that it is vertical, and one hand is on top, the other hand is on the bottom. From here, you're just going to rotate the dumbbell the other way so that now the other hand is on top and this hand is on bottom. Okay, so you're just going to keep going back and forth, rotating clockwise, counterclockwise, so that it's like you are driving a bus, like you're turning a wheel of a bus, okay? So that is exercise number 2. The next exercise is a compound movement. If you follow my workouts regularly, you know I love to include compound movements. So we are doing a standing oblique knee crunch plus a tricep overhead press. So let's start with the standing oblique knee crunch. So start with your feet a little wider than shoulder width apart. You're going to hold the dumbbell up by your shoulder. My palm is facing my ear. Now I'm going to press the dumbbell up overhead. So now my palm is facing that wall. So with the opposite leg, so the dumbbell's on this side, that means with the opposite leg, this leg, I'm going to bend the knee. And as I do that, I'm going to twist my body thoracically, bending this elbow and bringing the elbow down to meet the knee in front. So it will look like this. Okay, then I'm just gonna return to my starting position. So foot goes back, hand goes back overhead, and now from here, I'm going to do a tricep overhead press. So I'm just going to let the weight fall behind me, and then I'm going to press it back up overhead. Now with your tricep overhead press, you don't want to let your elbow go behind you, okay? I want to glue my elbow to the side of my head like this. And I'm just hinging at the elbow. So from my shoulder to my elbow, I want to try to keep that perfectly still. And I'm just hinging at the elbow, letting that weight fall down behind me, and then reversing the movement. So again, I'm not pulling my arm forward. I don't want my elbow to come forward. I don't want it to go back behind my head on the way down, and I don't want it to come forward as I'm lifting the dumbbell. I want to glue this elbow to the side of my head, hinging right here at the elbow. So then as I press the weight up overhead, I keep my elbow glued to my head and nothing moves from my shoulder to my elbow. So let's put a couple of reps together so that you can see the flow of it and you can see how it's going to look. So starting with the weight up overhead and my palm is facing this wall, I'm gonna lift the knee, bring the elbow down to meet the knee for my oblique knee crunch, and then I'm going to do my tricep overhead press. Staying on the same side for the entire work interval. So now again, lift the knee, oblique knee crunch, tricep overhead press, knee crunch, overhead press. For exercises 4 and 5, we're going to be down here on the mat, and I'm again going to be holding my dumbbell like this with one hand on either side of the dumbbell. The first exercise we're doing down here is going to be a weighted glute bridge raise. So I'm going to start by coming down on my back. My knees are bent and my feet are flat on the ground. My dumbbell is right here on my hips. Now I have my hands here on either side of the dumbbell just to hold it in place so that it doesn't fall off of me or roll around. As I lift my hips up, I want to make my glutes have to work to lift this extra 10 pounds of weight. I'm going to press my heels into the ground. So again, you want to visualize actively pressing the ground away from you. So really press those heels down into the ground as you lift your hips up, and then squeeze your glutes at the top of the movement. And then control the movement on the way down. So don't just drop your hips down, but make sure that you are really controlling the movement all the way down. Make sure your abs are tight. Make sure you're squeezing those glutes at the top. Press the ground away with your heels. Lift the hips as high as you can. Squeeze the glutes and control the movement on the way down. And remember, you're not using any of your upper body strength to lift this weight up. You're using your glutes to lift the weight up. So your hands are just here to hold it in place. Then from here, our next exercise down on the mat is going to be Russian twists. So you're going to sit up, still holding the dumbbell with one hand on either side like this. I'm going to lift my heels up off of the mat. I'm going to twist to one side and tap the dumbbell down. Then I'm going to twist to the other side, tapping the dumbbell on the other side. So you're twisting thoracically. And if you are able to reach all the way around so that you can actually tap the dumbbell to the mat, that is what you're going for. If you do not have a range of motion that allows you to reach the dumbbell all the way down to the mat, that's fine. You can shorten up your range of motion. Always work to your own level. So if your twist is here, then your twist is here. And that's totally fine. And if having your heels elevated is too difficult, you can do the same exercise with your heels resting on the mat. Exercise number 6 is another compound movement. We are doing a side lunge with a dumbbell swing plus an overhead press. So first, let's talk about the proper form for your side lunge. So again, just like with your squats, shoulders are back and down, chest is high, core is engaged. Tighten up those abs. I'm going to step to the side, and as I sink down into my lunge, again, I'm thinking of pushing my booty back, trying to touch this gate behind me with my booty. so that my back is flat and my weight is in the heel of this lunging foot. I'll show you from the side what it looks like. I'm going to step to the side, and as I sink down into the lunge, I'm pushing my booty back, trying to touch the wall behind me with my booty. My chest is lifted high, shoulders are back and down, my back is flat, and my weight is in the heel of this lunging foot, okay? So to come back up, again, actively pressing that heel into the ground, push the ground away and return to the starting position, bringing my feet together. So that's the side lunge. As I do that, I'm going to be swinging my dumbbell. So I'm going to start with my dumbbell right up here on my shoulder. The side the dumbbell's on is my standing leg. So with the opposite leg, I'm going to step to the side and lunge, and as I do that, I'm going to bring the dumbbell down, swing it between my legs, and as I press the ground away with this lunging foot and return to my starting position, I'm going to swing the dumbbell back up to my shoulder, returning to my starting position. And now from here, I'm just going to do an overhead press. So my palm is facing you. From that position, I'm just going to press the weight up overhead and then bring it back down to the shoulder. That's one rep. So let's put a couple more reps together a little faster so you can see what it's gonna look like. So weight is here. That means this is my standing leg. This is my lunging leg. I'm gonna lunge to the side, swing the dumbbell, overhead press. So swing the dumbbell as you lunge, bring it back up to the shoulder as you bring your feet together, and then press it up overhead. Lunge and press. Just 2 more exercises to show you, and then we can go ahead and get started. Exercise number 7 is lat pulses. So for this exercise, I'm going to hold my dumbbell like this. I have both hands in the middle of the dumbbell on this little bar. Okay, so I can hold my dumbbell like this. If you have bigger hands than I do, you might not be able to do that, but you can still do this exercise. First, let me show you what I'm doing. So I'm holding the dumbbell with both hands on the little bar in the middle, and I'm holding it behind me like this. And from here, I'm just going to raise my palms toward the ceiling. It's not a big range of motion. We're just going to lift the palms and then lower, return to the starting position, and we're going to pulse. So lift and lower. All right, that's the whole exercise. Just lifting those palms towards the ceiling. Arms are straight. Make sure you have a slight bend to your knees. Don't lock your knees out. Make sure there's a slight bend to your knees. And again, making sure your shoulders are back and down, your chest is high, and your core is engaged. And you're just going to pulse. Now, if you are not able to have both of your hands in the middle of the dumbbell, you can do this. You can hold the dumbbell from the ends, but not the way I was holding it for like the squats or the Russian twists. I actually have my hands underneath the dumbbell, like that. So you're going to kind of balance the dumbbell, but not really. You're grasping it, but it's kind of like you're balancing it. Hopefully you can see what I'm actually doing with my hands. To me, this is a less secure grip. So if you are able to do what I'm doing and get both of your hands on the middle part of the dumbbell, I think that's better. I think it's safer. But if that's not going to work for you, this is another possibility. You can absolutely hold the dumbbell like this with one hand on either side of the dumbbell and kind of underneath it. You could hold the dumbbell with your hands on the outside, but you're just not going to be targeting your lats in the same way as if you have your palms facing upward. So do what works for you, but that's exercise number 7. And the final exercise is these around the world dumbbell passes. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to call them yet, but I'm going to start with the dumbbell in one hand. And from here, I'm just going to bring the dumbbell behind me, and I'm going to bring the other hand behind me, pass the dumbbell from one hand to the other, and then bring it back around to the front. So the dumbbell is just traveling in a circle around my body. It's starting in this hand and bringing it behind me, transferring it to the other hand, and then bringing it around to the front. So we're going around the world. So that's it, that's all 8 exercises. Now here's the format. My timer is set for 1 15-second interval times 20 rounds. That's 5 minutes. So for the first minute, that's our first 4 15-second intervals, we're going to be going back and forth between our counterweight squats and bus drivers. So the first 15-second interval, I'm going to be doing counterweight squats, and then with the next 15-second interval, I'm going to do bus drivers. Then we're going to repeat that. That's the first minute of the workout. Then for minute number 2, our next 4 intervals of 15 seconds, we're going to be doing our oblique knee crunch with our tricep overhead press. With each 15-second interval, I'm going to switch sides. So I'll end up doing that exercise a total of twice on each side, but I'll alternate sides. With minute number 3, we're going to come down onto the mat, and we're going to start with our weighted glute bridge raises, and then we're going to go right into our Russian twists. 15 seconds to do as many glute bridge raises as you can, and 15 seconds to do as many Russian twists as you can, and then we'll repeat that once more. So that's our 3rd minute. With our 4th minute, we'll stand. We'll do our side lunge with a dumbbell swing and an overhead press. 15 seconds on one side, then 15 seconds on the other side, and then repeat. And then for our final minute, our final 4 intervals of 15 seconds, we're going to do our lat pulses and then our dumbbell around the world. So again, we'll go back and forth, 15 seconds to do as many lat pulses as you can, and then around the world with the dumbbell. Stick with the same direction for that entire 15-second work interval. Then with our final 30 seconds, we're going to do another 15 seconds of lat pulses, and then our final 15 seconds is going to be one more interval of around the world with the dumbbell, so just make sure that you're switching directions. So hopefully that covers everything. Please remember that I always take the time to type out the instructions in the description box down below the video, and you're going to watch me do it right now. So watch me do it, read the instructions, but then of course, as always, if anything is unclear with the format, how it all fits together, if you have any questions about the exercises we are doing today, any doubts about how to do the exercises with the correct form, if you need to see equipment-free substitutions or beginner modifications, I am right here to help, so please just ask. It's very important that you understand what we're doing before we begin, and that you understand how to do the exercises with the correct form before you start the workout, so that you reduce your risk of injury, and also so that you ensure that you're getting the maximum benefits out of each exercise. So make sure you understand how to do the exercises correctly before we begin the workout. It is also incredibly important to me that all of my workouts are always accessible to anyone and everyone who wants to do them with me. I am always here to help facilitate that. So if you need to see beginner modifications, please just ask. So now you know what we're doing. If you're ready to go ahead and start this workout with me, go ahead and grab a yoga mat or an exercise mat if you have one. If not, a towel should be fine. Grab a dumbbell. If you don't have a dumbbell, look for household items that will work, like a water bottle filled with water or uncooked rice, maybe a can of soup. Take a minute to make sure you're good and warmed up, and when you're ready, let's get started. There are no rest intervals, so the key is to keep moving as quickly as you can from exercise to exercise, but just remember not to sacrifice your form for speed. Prioritize your form above all else, but the work intervals are only 15 seconds long, and we have no rest breaks in between. So really push yourself to move as quickly as you can, fit in as many reps as you can in each of those 15-second intervals, and move from exercise to exercise as quickly as you can so that you lose as little time as possible off of your work intervals. But just make sure that you're going at your own pace, work to your own level, and do not sacrifice your form for speed. All right, so as soon as you're ready, we are starting with our counterweight squats. So I'm just gonna get my watch going first. And now pick up your dumbbell. You're gonna hold your dumbbell with one hand on either side like this. And we are starting in 3, 2, 1, and go. Bus drivers. Really tighten up those abs. Back to counterweight squats. Bus drivers. Quickly as you can. Oblique knee crunch and tricep overhead press. The other side. One more time on each side. Down to the mat, glute bridge raises. Russian twists. Repeat those two once more. Get up, side bend for the dumbbell swing, overhead press. Other side. One more time on each side. And then we'll move on to our final two exercises. That pulses. Around the world. Lat pulses. And now with our final 15-second interval, you're going to go around the world with the dumbbell. Just make sure you're switching directions. This is it. This is our final work interval, so push really hard. That's it. That's our 5 minutes. Feeling those shoulders, triceps, chest. That was a full body workout in just 5 minutes. We are not quite finished yet. No workout of mine is ever complete even if it's only 5 minutes long, until we have done our bonus burpee. So we have just 1 rep left to go, but first, it is time for the McFlurry minute. I'm going to reset my timer to count down 60 seconds for me. I'm going to complete as many revolutions with my jump rope as I can in 60 seconds. And if I can make it through the entire 60-second work interval without tripping over my jump rope, everybody wins a free McFlurry. So give me just a minute to reset my timer. I will be right back. All right, my timer has been reset. I've got Rebecca with me today. Rebecca is my adorable black jump rope with the little white skulls on the handles. And if you would like to know where you can find Rebecca, I will leave a link in the description box down below the video. And now we are starting with a 10-second rest interval, so wish us luck. We have a streak going of 9 successful McFlurry minutes in a row. So we're trying to make it 10 in a row today. Here we go. Pressure's on. Rebecca. So that is our 10th successful McFlurry minute in a row, which is amazing, but if memory serves, I believe the record, the number to beat, is 14 in a row. So we still have a ways to go if we want to challenge the current record, but you guys, 10 days in a row of free McFlurries is still pretty incredible. And now we have just 1 rep left to go. Let's do our bonus burpee together, and then the workout will be officially complete. Final rep of the day when you're ready. Here we go. With that, the workout is now officially complete. I really enjoyed this workout. It was super short, but I thought it was really tough. I was feeling it in my shoulders for sure. Also my arms, my chest, my core. It really was a full body workout, and it only took 5 minutes. So if you did this little 5-minute workout with me today, thank you so much. Please let me know what you thought of it and how you did. Thank you to everyone who has been working out with me lately. And even if you're not doing the workouts with me, thank you for watching the videos. Thank you for liking and sharing the videos. Thank you for all of your wonderful and supportive and engaging comments. You guys are the best. It really does mean the world to me. Thank you to all of my new subscribers. If you are not subscribed already, please subscribe. And of course, a great big thank you to those of you who have been subscribed to my channel for years. Please know that I appreciate you all so very much. One final reminder that if anything is unclear with the format, about how the exercises fit together, if you have any questions about the specific exercises we were doing today, any doubts at all about how to do the exercises with the correct form, if you need to see equipment-free substitutions or beginner modifications, I am right here, so please do not hesitate to reach out if you have any questions or if you need help. If you like these 5-minute workouts, please remember that I have an entire playlist of 5-minute workouts on my channel, and we will be continuing to do these 5-minute Fridays for the foreseeable future. So I will be continuing to bring you at least one new 5-minute workout each week. That is going to do it for today, and I will see you all next time. Bye.